Hello, this is Melissa. I am starting out with some Strathmore watercolor paper, and we're going to do an Easter duckling today that did not exactly turn out the way I planned. Here is the reference image that I used from Pixabay. It was taken by Blender 12. I just focused on the one duckling as I wanted more of a simple picture to go with. And I've already sketched it out in pencil. I did this duckling in a watercolor sketchbook that I have, and I wanted to do it again and make a video for it, and I have to say it did not go as well the second time as it did the first time. I really wish I had just recorded the first one. So wait till the end and give me your opinion on which one you like better. So I am using a 0.5 micron pen to do the eye, and then I'm switching over to a 0.3 to do the rest of the outline, the beak, the feathers, well, the down feathers. I just learned that they actually don't lose that yellow down, it just, their other feathers grow on top of it. I did not know that. It's something new. And one of the differences between this one and the one I did originally, which I did about a week ago, is I made the outline of this one less wispy than I did the first one. So it's more of an outline, and the outline will be available on my website, maplewoodbookart.com. So I'm going to kind of just run through here very quickly and get the outline. These are fairly simple. Trying to get some of the shading on the legs. Now to do some of the detail shading, because he is a fuzzy little duckling, I'm using a 0.05 micron pen. He has some darker patches on his head. I wanted to do a little bit of shading around where his neck comes to his body, and on his body where it is, kind of show how rounded it is. I mean, we'll do some of that when we get to the watercolor, but I just kind of like doing a little bit with the ink as well. The micron pens are great because they do not move no matter how much water you put on them once they're dry. Here's the duckling again, just trying to show that he's just a very, very simple outline. We'll do most of the contouring with the paint. And this outline will be available on my website, maplewoodbookart.com. Now these are my Winsor & Newton watercolor paints. I'm going to be using the light yellow and the gold. I don't know what colors they're called anymore. I've had this set for quite a long time. I am using a number 8 round brush this time instead of the little brush that came with it, because the duckling is so big that you kind of want to cover more area than with the little bitty brush. It gives a pretty warm golden color, but without being completely gold. And I noticed looking at the reference photo that he actually, I think he's picking up some of the green from the grass around him, so adding just a touch of the green. Not enough to make it look green, but just to give it a little twinge of green. And I'm going to give him an all-over wash with this, but then when I started, I realized I think I had added too much water because there was barely any color coming through on the duck at all. And I know it's a wash, but I like bright, vibrant colors. So I went ahead and added more of the yellow and more of the gold just to make it darker, and tried not to add any more water. I'm just cleaning my brush there. I'm not adding water to it. I always clean between each color so I don't contaminate them. that is much, much brighter. I'm a lot happier with that. So I'm going to speed it up here, and I'm going to just give him an all-over wash, kind of a base layer. I guess it's not kind of a base layer, it is a base layer. Okay, so I'm mixing up some more of the yellow and the gold, and I'm going to try to get some of that brown area into him. And I'm using more of the red brown to start with, but it didn't seem dark enough, so I'm going to start using the darker brown. The names of all these colors escape me. I think there's raw umber and burnt sienna, and I can't remember which is which, so I'm just going to say the red brown and the dark brown. And I'm going to end up using mostly the dark brown in this one. And I'm adding a little bit of water to, making it more of a wet and wet application so that he doesn't have any sharp edges. He looks kind of fuzzy. And I'm going to do the same thing underneath where he's got a lot of shade underneath. And I will post the reference photo on my website as well, in case you want an easy way to find it. Probably what most people would call overworked, but I kind of like the look on a fuzzy duck, so I'm pretty happy with his feathers. But I had all kinds of trouble with his little beak. I went outside the lines and his beak was dripping down. He had a drippy beak, and so I turned this over. My desk is at an incline so that he would drip the other way for a little while. If you can see there, it's just coming out the bottom. I'm trying to lift to give his beak like a little shine there on the top. I'm going to let that dry for a minute and go to his legs. And this is a Payne's Gray, if I forgot to mention it, not black. And I was getting some of this dark area where it looks like maybe his leg and his wing come together. And some more underneath, some more on his back, some more around his neck. Again, I'm kind of trying to take away the sharp edges to keep him fuzzy looking. Going back to the beak, I had so much trouble with this beak. It just dried so light, you could hardly see there was anything on it. So I'm trying to make him darker, trying to take away. This painting is proof that not everything is ever going to plan. And that doesn't mean you can't have something you're happy with. Alright. He's dry, and I thought, well, maybe if I go back in with my 005 micron pen and give him a little detail on the beak, kind of show the curvature a little more, try to depend less on the paint. But again, it dried so light. I must have had way too much water in my paint. So I'm going to try again, I think, in a minute, and try to make it darker again. And that's watercolor. You just kind of learn by doing it over and over again, making mistakes and coming back to it. And you learn not to make that mistake again. So here I am, try 3 on the beak, 3rd time's the charm. And this is, you know, the unspeeded up how I paint. This is why I didn't generally speed it up, so it's not hour-long video. I think this duckling altogether took me a little over an hour to paint and to draw and do the ink. Trying to be a little mindful of the highlights. You can see them there on the little close-up of his head. I didn't get that light area toward the bottom of his beak. It kind of goes down his nose into a T, and I don't think I really got that on this duckling. And I'll show you my original duckling at the end, and I think it did a much better job on that one. The planets must have been aligned the day I painted the other one. But I'm happy with this one, and he would be a really cute Easter card if you have watercolor cards that you can paint. Write Happy Easter on it, maybe put a little bit of grass at the bottom. I think it's looking a little better. Darken up the legs a little bit, kind of give a little more shading. And that's where I stopped and went and got some lunch. Now you can tell time's passed, and I got another look at him, and I looked at my original and I realized the eye on the original is much bigger than the eye on the new one I made. So I went ahead, got my micron pens back out. I'm going to go with the 0.5, and I'm going to make the eye a lot bigger. And looking at it here too, I think I made the nostril was a lot bigger on the original as well. And I believe that's a Strathmore watercolor sketchbook. I'm going to skip ahead here because right after this I just completely put my head in front of the camera. I guess I had it slightly at a different spot than I did before. So I've already made his eye bigger, and now I've got the 0.05 out, and I'm just giving him a little more detail around the eye. Trying to see what else I missed. Which one do you all like better? Do you like the original one that I did on the top, or the new one that I did on the bottom? Right here I'm going to put the little white in his eye, and again I had my head in the shot, so I just went ahead and did it and jumped ahead. And I'm thinking I like the top one a lot better, but let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to have fun with your painting.